During a bitterly cold winter, Trang noticed the plight of homeless individuals struggling against the freezing temperatures, shivering without adequate clothing. The sight of them huddled in doorways, wrapped in thin blankets, tugged at her heart. She couldn't bear to see their suffering, and it ignited a determination within her to make a difference. One evening, after returning home from school, Trang decided to take action. She created a message in a group chat with her friends and family, urging them to join her in helping those in need. "We can buy warm coats and blankets for the homeless. Let's come together to help them survive this winter," she wrote. The response was overwhelmingly positive. Her friends and family rallied around her cause, eager to contribute. Within days, donations began pouring in. Some offered money, while others pledged to help with the logistics. As the contributions grew, so did Trang's excitement. She envisioned a day when she could see smiles on the faces of those she aimed to help. With the funds collected, Trang and her friends organized a distribution event at a local park. They gathered warm coats, blankets, and other supplies, setting up a makeshift station where they could hand out the items. On the day of the event, they arrived early, bustling with energy and anticipation. When the first homeless individuals began to arrive, the atmosphere transformed. Trang felt a wave of warmth wash over her as she handed out coats, witnessing the gratitude and relief in their eyes. "I can't thank you enough for this coat," said an older man with tears in his eyes. "It means the world to me during this freezing weather." The experience was profound, and it motivated Trang and her friends to do even more. They decided to organize weekly meals for the homeless, providing not just food, but also companionship and a sense of community. Each week, they cooked together, preparing hearty meals and packing them up to share. As they served the food, they listened to stories, shared laughter, and built connections that transcended their differences. Over time, the impact of their efforts began to resonate. The homeless individuals they had helped started forming a close-knit community, finding comfort and strength in each other's company. One day, a group of them approached Trang and her friends with an idea. "We appreciate everything you've done for us. We want to give back too," they said. Inspired by their gratitude, they proposed building a temporary shelter for those still struggling on the streets. With renewed determination, Trang and her friends worked together with the homeless community to turn this idea into reality. They organized fundraising events, reached out to local businesses for donations, and sought volunteer help. Slowly but surely, they gathered the resources needed to construct a shelter. As the weeks passed, the shelter began to take shape. It was a simple structure, but it represented hope and resilience. When it was finally completed, they decided to name it Trang's Haven, in honor of the girl who had ignited their journey. The shelter became a safe space for the homeless, offering warmth, support, and a sense of belonging. The day they opened Trang's Haven was a celebration filled with joy and gratitude. The community came together to mark the occasion, and everyone who had played a part in its creation felt an overwhelming sense of pride. Trang stood before the crowd, her heart full as she looked at the faces of those who had transformed from strangers into friends. "Today is not just about this shelter," she said, her voice steady but emotional. "It's about the love and kindness that brought us all together. Together, we can create change, no matter how small." From that day forward, Trang's Haven became a hub of activity. It offered not just shelter, but also resources for job training, mental health support, and a community garden where residents could learn to grow their own food. The transformation of the space was remarkable, and it inspired others in the community to get involved and support the cause. As winter faded into spring, Trang reflected on the journey that had brought her to this point. What began as a simple act of kindness had blossomed into a movement of compassion and community. She had witnessed the power of unity, and it fueled her passion to continue making a difference. Years later, Trang looked back on that cold winter and smiled. The relationships forged in the depths of hardship had become lasting friendships. She understood that even the smallest gestures could create waves of change, and her heart swelled with gratitude for every person who had been a part of this incredible journey. With renewed hope and determination, Trang knew that together, they could continue to bring warmth and light to those in need, one coat, one meal, and one shelter at a time. As the seasons changed, Trang's Haven flourished. The shelter not only provided warmth and shelter but became a vibrant community space. Local volunteers and organizations began to collaborate, offering workshops on financial literacy, cooking classes, and wellness programs. Trang's vision of a supportive environment was becoming a reality, and she felt more inspired than ever. One day, while preparing for a community event at the shelter, Trang received a visit from Mr. Han, a local businessman who had been following the shelter's progress. He was impressed by the impact it was making and wanted to contribute further. "I believe in what you're doing here, Trang," he said. "I want to help you expand this shelter and make it even better." Surprised and excited, Trang listened as he outlined his ideas for renovation and improvement. With Mr. Han's support, they could add more sleeping spaces, create a dedicated area for job training, and even establish a small cafe that would employ residents. This opportunity could transform the shelter into a self-sustaining model, empowering individuals while providing them with essential skills. Together, they organized a fundraising campaign, tapping into the community's generosity. With stories of hope and resilience spreading, donations began to flow in, and the project gained momentum. Volunteers from all walks of life joined the effort, bringing their skills and passion to the cause. As construction began, the atmosphere buzzed with energy. Residents of Trang's Haven contributed their ideas on how to improve the space, and they were excited to be involved in shaping their future. They painted murals on the walls, planted flowers in the garden, and shared their visions for what they wanted the shelter to represent. One evening, while discussing plans for the cafe, a young woman named Mai, who had recently found refuge at the shelter, stood up. "I used to work as a barista," she shared, her voice trembling slightly with emotion. "I would love to help run the cafe and teach others. It would mean so much to me to give back." Encouraged by Mai's enthusiasm, Trang smiled. "That's exactly the spirit we need. You can lead the training sessions for anyone interested in learning barista skills. This cafe will be a place of connection and support." With the renovations nearing completion, the grand opening of the expanded Trang's Haven approached. The excitement in the air was palpable, with residents preparing for the event as if it were a festival. They baked treats for the cafe, decorated the space, and invited the community to join in the celebration. On the day of the opening, the shelter was filled with laughter, music, and the enticing aroma of freshly brewed coffee. Community members, local businesses, and families all gathered to celebrate the new chapter of Trang's Haven. As Trang looked around, she felt overwhelmed with gratitude. The faces of those she had helped and those who had supported her mission blended together in a tapestry of hope. During the ceremony, Trang took to the microphone, her heart pounding with emotion. "Today is a celebration of what we can achieve when we come together," she began. "This shelter is not just a building, it's a community built on kindness, compassion, and resilience. Together, we can continue to support each other and lift each other up." As applause filled the air, she glanced over at Mai, who was busy chatting with guests, her smile radiating warmth. Trang knew that the shelter was more than just a safe haven, it was a place where dreams could be nurtured and lives transformed. Months passed, and the cafe thrived, providing training and employment for many residents. Mai led barista workshops, and the cafe became a gathering spot for not only those living at the shelter but also for members of the community. People came to enjoy coffee, share stories, and build connections. As Trang continued her work, she kept her eyes open for opportunities to further support her community. Inspired by the success of Trang's Haven, she began to advocate for policies that would address homelessness on a larger scale. She reached out to local government officials, sharing the stories of the people she had met and the transformative power of community support. One day, she was invited to speak at a city council meeting. Standing in front of the council members, she shared her journey, her vision for a more compassionate city, and the success of Trang's Haven. "We have the power to create change, to provide resources and support for those who need it most," she urged. "Together, we can make our city a place where everyone has a chance to thrive." The council members listened intently, and when she finished, they applauded. Trang felt a sense of hope that her words could lead to meaningful change. A few weeks later, she received an invitation to collaborate on a citywide initiative aimed at addressing homelessness through improved services and community engagement. As Trang continued to fight for change, she always remembered the faces of those she had met along the way. Each person had a story, a struggle, and a dream, and she was determined to help them find their paths. Years later, as she stood at the entrance of Trang's Haven, now a well-established shelter and community center, she reflected on how far she had come. The warmth of community filled her heart, reminding her of the cold winter that had sparked this incredible journey. With a sense of fulfillment, Trang knew that as long as there were people willing to care, there would always be hope. She had learned that compassion could change lives, and that together, they could build a brighter future for everyone. As Trang continued her advocacy work, she often organized community events at Trang's Haven to raise awareness about homelessness and foster empathy. One of her most ambitious ideas was to host an annual Compassion Festival, a celebration of kindness where people could come together to learn, share stories, and contribute to the cause. The first Compassion Festival was a labor of love. Trang gathered volunteers, enlisted local businesses for sponsorship, and invited speakers who had overcome homelessness to share their journeys. She wanted the event to be a true reflection of the community's strength and resilience. As the festival day approached, excitement filled the air. Residents of Trang's Haven helped set up booths, decorate the space, and prepare food. They wanted to showcase not only their stories but also their skills. The cafe team prepared delicious treats and beverages, while others created handmade crafts to sell, with all proceeds going back into the shelter. On the day of the festival, the atmosphere was electric. The park where the event was held was filled with colorful banners, laughter, and the aroma of food. People from all walks of life attended, families, local leaders, students, and those who had been impacted by Trang's work. Music filled the air as local musicians performed, creating a joyous backdrop for the gathering. As the festival commenced, Trang took the stage, her heart racing with anticipation. Welcome, everyone. Today we come together to celebrate compassion, community, and resilience. Every one of us has the power to make a difference, and together, we can create a world where everyone feels valued and supported. Throughout the day, attendees visited various booths, participated in workshops on empathy and understanding, and listened to inspiring stories from individuals who had found their way back to stability. The highlight of the festival was a panel discussion featuring residents of Trang's Haven who shared their experiences, emphasizing the importance of support and kindness. "I was lost for so long," said one woman, tears in her eyes. "But when I found this place, I found hope. I found a family. It's the love and support from this community that lifted me up." As the event unfolded, people began to realize the impact of their collective efforts. Donations flowed in, and many attendees expressed interest in volunteering or partnering with Trang's Haven in future initiatives. It was a day filled with hope, connection, and a renewed commitment to making a difference. As the festival wrapped up, Trang felt a profound sense of gratitude. The outpouring of love and support confirmed that their work was not in vain. It inspired her to think bigger. What if they could replicate the success of Trang's Haven in other neighborhoods? What if they could influence policies on a larger scale? In the months that followed, Trang reached out to other shelters and community organizations, sharing their model and encouraging collaboration. She believed that by joining forces, they could amplify their impact and reach even more individuals in need. Through her tireless efforts, Trang garnered the attention of local media, and soon her story began to spread beyond the city. She was invited to speak at national conferences, sharing her experiences and advocating for homelessness awareness. Her voice resonated with many, igniting a movement that emphasized compassion and community support. Meanwhile, Trang's Haven continued to flourish. The cafe became a beloved spot in the community, not just for its delicious offerings but for the sense of belonging it fostered. Mai, now the cafe manager, had trained many residents, helping them find their footing and regain their confidence. One evening, as Trang sat in the cafe sipping her favorite coffee, she watched people laughing and connecting. It was a reminder of how far they had come and how far they could still go. the once struggling shelter had evolved into a hub of hope and support, and she felt proud of the community they had built together. As the years went by, Trang continued to cultivate a culture of compassion, working tirelessly to ensure that no one felt alone. She never forgot the cold winter that had sparked her journey, nor the faces of those who had inspired her to take action. They were her motivation, and their stories drove her forward. In a world that often felt divided, Trang's Haven stood as a testament to the power of unity. It became a place where people could come together, learn from one another, and embrace their shared humanity. With every coat distributed, every meal served, and every connection made, Trang knew they were creating ripples of change that could transform lives. And as she looked ahead, she realized that the journey was far from over. There were still challenges to face, still lives to touch. But with the unwavering support of her community, she felt equipped to tackle anything that came their way. In the heart of the city, under the warm glow of the cafe lights, Trang embraced her purpose. She understood that compassion could change the world, one person at a time, and she was determined to keep spreading that message for as long as she could. As Trang continued to lead the efforts at Trang's Haven, she found herself increasingly immersed in the complexities of the issues surrounding homelessness. While the shelter had become a beacon of hope, she recognized that systemic changes were necessary to create lasting impact. One evening, after a long day at the shelter, Trang sat down with her laptop, her mind racing with ideas. She decided to draft a proposal for a community initiative focused on preventative measures for homelessness, an outreach program that would educate families at risk and provide resources before they fell into crisis. She envisioned a network of support that included job training, financial literacy workshops, and mental health resources. The next day, she called a meeting with her team and some trusted partners from other organizations. The room buzzed with energy as they discussed the challenges many families faced. "We need to reach out to those who are teetering on the edge," Trang urged. "If we can provide support before it's too late, we can change lives." With everyone on board, they began developing the program. They organized community forums to gather input from local residents and identified key areas where families needed assistance. The feedback was invaluable, shedding light on the barriers many faced, from rising housing costs to job insecurity. As the initiative took shape, Trang also focused on building partnerships with local businesses. She reached out to employers willing to provide job opportunities for individuals in the program, ensuring that the training they received would lead to real, sustainable employment. The response was overwhelmingly positive. Many business owners were eager to give back to the community. Weeks turned into months, and with hard work and dedication, the outreach program was finally ready to launch. They hosted a kickoff event at Trang's Haven, inviting families and community members to learn about the resources available to them. As Trang spoke to the crowd, her heart swelled with hope. "Together, we can break the cycle of homelessness and create a future where everyone has the opportunity to thrive." The program quickly gained traction, and soon families began to sign up for workshops and support services. Trang watched in awe as people started to transform their lives. One family, in particular, caught her attention, a mother named Lynn and her 2 young children. They had been living in a cramped apartment and struggling to make ends meet. Through the outreach program, Lynn found a stable job and received assistance with childcare. Months later, at a community gathering, Lynn approached Trang, gratitude shining in her eyes. "I can't thank you enough for this program," she said, her voice filled with emotion. "It's given me hope and a chance to build a better life for my kids." Stories like Lynn's became the heartbeat of Trang's outreach initiative. As more families benefited, the community began to see the impact of their collective efforts. The program not only provided immediate relief but also instilled a sense of empowerment. People were regaining their independence and taking pride in their achievements. As the outreach initiative thrived, Trang received an unexpected call from a local news station. They wanted to feature her story and the work being done at Trang's Haven. Nervous yet excited, she agreed. When the segment aired, it showcased the shelter's success and highlighted the outreach program's impact on the community. The publicity brought even more support. Donations surged, and volunteers flocked to Trang's Haven to lend a hand. With the increased resources, Trang envisioned expanding their services further, perhaps even offering transitional housing for families in need. With each passing day, Trang was reminded of the importance of community. She knew that while they had achieved so much, there was still work to be done. Inspired by the resilience of the families they helped, she remained dedicated to advocating for policies that would address the root causes of homelessness. One day, while sitting in her office at Trang's Haven, she received a call from a state senator who had seen the news segment. "I'd love to discuss how we can collaborate on policies that support families facing housing insecurity," he said. Trang's heart raced with excitement. This could be an opportunity to effect real change on a larger scale. They scheduled a meeting, and when the day arrived, Trang walked into the senator's office with a mix of nerves and determination. She shared the stories of the families they had helped and presented data showing the effectiveness of their outreach program. The senator listened intently, nodding as Trang passionately spoke about the need for more comprehensive support systems. "Your work is impressive, Trang," he said, leaning back in his chair. "I believe we can make a difference together. Let's draft legislation that not only funds shelters but also addresses the root causes of homelessness." The meeting marked a turning point in Trang's journey. With the senator's support, they began to draft a bill that aimed to expand funding for community programs, increase access to mental health services, and provide affordable housing options. It was an ambitious undertaking, but Trang felt a renewed sense of purpose. As they moved forward, the community continued to rally behind the initiative. Trang organized town hall meetings, where residents could voice their concerns and ideas. The momentum grew, and soon, people across the city were advocating for the changes they wanted to see. Finally, after months of hard work and collaboration, the bill was introduced to the legislature. Trang felt a mixture of excitement and anxiety as she prepared to testify before the committee. On the day of the hearing, she stood before the panel, her heart racing. "Today, I'm here not just for the families who are currently facing homelessness but for those who may find themselves in the same situation in the future," she began. "We have the opportunity to create a safety net that ensures everyone has a chance to thrive." As she spoke, Trang's conviction resonated with the committee members. They asked questions, expressed their support, and listened attentively to the stories she shared. The hearing was a success, and the bill moved forward, eventually passing with overwhelming support. When she received the news that the bill had been signed into law, Trang felt tears of joy stream down her face. It was a victory not just for her, but for every person who had ever faced hardship. The legislation would lead to more resources, better support, and a brighter future for countless individuals and families. Reflecting on her journey, Trang understood that the road ahead would still have challenges. However, she was more committed than ever to advocating for those in need. She envisioned a future where every person had access to the support they required, where compassion and community thrived. As she stood at the entrance of Trang's Haven, watching families come and go, she felt a sense of fulfillment. The work they had done, the lives they had touched, and the community they had built were testaments to the power of kindness. In that moment, Trang knew that while one person could spark change, it was the collective effort of many that could create lasting impact. And she was determined to keep the flame of compassion burning bright for years to come. As the months went by, Trang's Haven continued to expand its reach and impact. The success of the outreach program and the passing of the legislation inspired Trang to think even bigger. She realized that while they had made significant strides in addressing homelessness, there were still many facets of the issue that needed attention. One area that particularly struck her was mental health. Trang had seen how mental health challenges could contribute to homelessness, and she wanted to ensure that the services provided at Trang's Haven included comprehensive mental health support. She began researching partnerships with local mental health organizations and professionals who could offer counseling and therapy to residents. With a clear vision in mind, she organized a community forum to discuss mental health awareness. She invited experts to speak, share resources, and lead discussions about the importance of mental health in the context of homelessness. The turnout was encouraging, and many attendees expressed their desire for more resources and support. The forum ignited a conversation that resonated deeply within the community. People began to share their own experiences with mental health challenges, breaking down the stigma surrounding the topic. Trang felt a sense of empowerment as individuals opened up, realizing they were not alone in their struggles. Inspired by the forum, Trang decided to take a bold step. She proposed the creation of a dedicated mental health program within Trang's Haven that would provide regular counseling sessions, support groups, and educational workshops. She reached out to local mental health professionals and secured their commitment to volunteer their time at the shelter. The program launched with great enthusiasm. Residents who had previously felt isolated began attending the counseling sessions, and the support groups quickly became a safe haven for many. Trang watched as individuals started to heal, forming connections with one another and sharing their journeys. One particular success story emerged from the program, a young man named Kwa, who had struggled with depression for years. When he first arrived at Trang's Haven, he was withdrawn and reluctant to engage with others. However, after attending several counseling sessions and participating in support groups, he began to open up. With the encouragement of his peers and the support of the counselors, Kwa started to regain his confidence. He eventually shared his story during a community event, inspiring others to seek help. "I thought I was alone, but this place showed me that I'm not," he said, his voice steady. "We can overcome our struggles together." Kwa's transformation had a ripple effect on the community, encouraging others to seek support and embrace vulnerability. Trang knew that addressing mental health was just as crucial as providing shelter and resources. She felt a deep sense of fulfillment as she witnessed the positive changes taking place. As the mental health program thrived, Trang's Haven became known not only as a shelter but also as a center for healing and growth. Community members who had once been hesitant to seek help began to visit the shelter, recognizing it as a place of support rather than stigma. With each passing day, Trang was reminded of the importance of community and connection. She realized that the success of their initiatives relied on creating an environment where individuals felt safe and empowered to share their stories. As the seasons changed and another winter approached, Trang decided to organize a special holiday event at the shelter. She wanted to create a festive atmosphere for residents and community members, emphasizing the spirit of giving and togetherness. The event planning began months in advance. Trang rallied volunteers, reached out to local businesses for donations, and organized activities that would bring joy to everyone involved. The cafe team prepared a delicious feast, and volunteers decorated the shelter with twinkling lights and cheerful decorations. On the day of the event, the atmosphere was filled with excitement and warmth. Residents gathered around a beautifully decorated tree, and children laughed as they participated in games and crafts. Trang looked around, her heart swelling with joy as she witnessed the community come together in celebration. As the evening progressed, Trang took the stage to address the crowd. "This holiday season, let us remember the importance of compassion and kindness," she began. "Together, we can make a difference in each other's lives. Let's continue to lift each other up and spread love in our community." After her speech, the highlight of the evening arrived: gift giving. Trang had organized a secret Santa gift exchange, and everyone was eager to participate. Residents, volunteers, and community members exchanged thoughtful gifts, laughter echoing through the shelter. As the festivities continued, Trang noticed Kwa sitting quietly in a corner, smiling as he watched others enjoy the evening. She approached him, curious about what he was thinking. "I just feel so grateful," he said softly. "I never imagined I would find a place where I belong. This community has changed my life." Trang felt a lump in her throat. Kwa's words encapsulated everything she had worked for, the vision of creating a safe haven for individuals to connect, heal, and thrive. "You're a vital part of this community, Kwa," she said sincerely. "Your journey is inspiring, and you've shown others that healing is possible." As the night drew to a close, the community gathered around the tree for a final celebration. They shared stories, laughter, and hope for the future. The holiday spirit enveloped the shelter, and Trang felt a sense of fulfillment wash over her. In the following months, Trang continued to innovate and expand the services at Trang's Haven. The mental health program flourished, and she worked tirelessly to strengthen the partnerships with local organizations to enhance resources. She began planning additional workshops focused on life skills, including cooking, budgeting, and job readiness, empowering residents to regain their independence. With each initiative, Trang felt the weight of her responsibility to the community, but she also felt a renewed sense of purpose. She knew that the journey ahead would not always be easy, but she remained steadfast in her commitment to fostering hope and healing. One day, while reflecting on all that had been accomplished, Trang decided it was time to share the stories of those who had been helped by Trang's Haven. She envisioned a book that would capture the resilience of the human spirit and the power of community support. She reached out to residents, inviting them to share their stories of struggle, triumph, and hope. The project quickly gained momentum as people began to contribute their experiences. Trang facilitated writing workshops to help residents express themselves, offering guidance and encouragement. As the stories began to come together, Trang felt an overwhelming sense of pride. Each narrative was a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the impact of compassion. She compiled the stories into a book titled Voices of Hope, highlighting the journeys of the residents and the community's unwavering support. When the book was published, it was met with enthusiasm. Local bookstores and libraries hosted readings, and the stories resonated with many. The book became a source of inspiration, drawing attention to the importance of community and the need for continued support for those facing homelessness. With the success of Voices of Hope, Trang was invited to speak at various events, sharing her journey in the stories of those she had met along the way. Each time she took the stage, she emphasized the message of compassion and the belief that everyone has the power to make a difference. As the years passed, Trang's Haven grew to become a model for other communities. More shelters began adopting their approach to support and empowerment, inspired by the successes of Trang's initiatives. Trang felt a deep sense of fulfillment knowing that their work was influencing positive change beyond their city. Reflecting on her journey, Trang understood that her mission was far from over. There were still challenges to face, and countless individuals needed support. But with each story of resilience and hope, she was reminded that together, they could create a brighter future. In her heart, Trang carried the stories of everyone she had met, those who had touched her life and inspired her to keep going. And as she continued to advocate for compassion and community, she remained committed to being a voice for those who needed it most, believing firmly that change starts with kindness. As Trang continued her work, she began to explore the idea of creating a mentorship program within Trang's Haven. She envisioned pairing residents with community members who could offer guidance and support, helping them navigate the challenges they faced as they worked toward rebuilding their lives. With this new initiative in mind, Trang reached out to local professionals and volunteers, inviting them to participate in the mentorship program. She organized training sessions to prepare mentors, emphasizing the importance of empathy, active listening, and understanding the unique experiences of each resident. The response was overwhelmingly positive, and soon, a diverse group of mentors emerged: teachers, business owners, healthcare professionals, and even retired military personnel, all eager to share their knowledge and experiences. Trang was inspired by the community's willingness to invest time and energy into helping others. Once the program launched, residents were excited about the opportunity to connect with mentors. Each participant filled out a questionnaire detailing their goals, interests, and challenges. Trang carefully matched residents with mentors who shared similar backgrounds or had expertise in areas that aligned with their aspirations. One notable pair was a young woman named Hoa and her mentor, Mr. Thompson, a retired business executive. Hoa had dreams of starting her own catering business but lacked the confidence and resources to make it happen. Through their weekly meetings, Mr. Thompson provided valuable insights into entrepreneurship, offering practical advice on budgeting, marketing, and networking. As the mentorship program progressed, Trang witnessed the transformation in many residents. The relationships forged were built on trust and mutual respect, and individuals began to gain the confidence to pursue their goals. Hoa, inspired by Mr. Thompson's guidance, started planning her catering business, experimenting with recipes, and networking within the community. Meanwhile, the positive atmosphere at Trang's Haven continued to grow. Residents began to support one another more actively, sharing resources and offering encouragement. The sense of community deepened, and Trang felt a profound sense of pride in the connections being made. In the midst of all this progress, Trang received an unexpected call from a national news outlet. They had heard about the impactful work being done at Trang's Haven and wanted to feature the mentorship program in a segment highlighting community-led initiatives. Trang felt both excited and nervous but knew this was a tremendous opportunity to raise awareness about the issues of homelessness and showcase the positive changes taking place. When the camera crew arrived, Trang greeted them with enthusiasm. The film crew spent the day at the shelter, interviewing residents, mentors, and Trang herself. Hoa was one of the featured residents, sharing her journey and the support she received from Mr. Thompson. Her heartfelt testimony resonated deeply, highlighting how mentorship had opened doors for her dreams. The segment aired a few weeks later, showcasing the transformative power of community and the impact of the mentorship program. The response was immense, donations poured in, and inquiries about how to start similar programs in other cities flooded Trang's Haven. Encouraged by this momentum, Trang decided to organize a community workshop to share their model for mentorship with others. She invited representatives from other shelters and organizations, eager to replicate their success. The workshop was a resounding success, filled with passionate discussions about strategies for building effective mentorship programs. As the workshop concluded, Trang felt invigorated by the energy in the room. She knew that their work was influencing not just the lives of individuals in her community, but also inspiring others across the country to take action. In the following months, Trang's Haven expanded further, introducing additional programs such as financial literacy workshops, health and wellness classes, and even creative arts programs. Residents had the chance to explore their talents and discover new passions, leading to increased confidence and self-esteem. One particular resident, Min, had always loved painting but had never had the opportunity to pursue it seriously. Through the art program, he discovered his talent and began creating beautiful pieces that reflected his experiences. Trang encouraged him to showcase his work at a local art fair, and he was both nervous and excited. When the day of the fair arrived, Trang stood by Min's side as he displayed his paintings. The support from the community was overwhelming. People were drawn to his artwork, and many expressed interest in purchasing pieces. Min felt a wave of pride wash over him as he received positive feedback, realizing that his art had the power to resonate with others. Encouraged by this newfound recognition, Min decided to donate a portion of his art sales to Trang's Haven, believing in the mission that had helped him turn his life around. His generosity inspired other residents to find ways to give back, creating a cycle of support and kindness that became the hallmark of Trang's Haven. As the community continued to thrive, Trang often reflected on the journey that had led her to this point. What had begun as a simple act of kindness, providing warmth during a cold winter, had blossomed into a robust support network that transformed lives. The stories of resilience and hope filled her with gratitude and motivation to keep pushing forward. On the 5th anniversary of Trang's Haven, she decided to hold a celebration to honor everyone who had been part of this incredible journey. The event was designed to recognize the achievements of residents, mentors, volunteers, and community supporters. Trang envisioned it as a night of inspiration, filled with stories, performances, and gratitude. As the evening unfolded, residents shared their stories on stage, expressing heartfelt thanks to the community that had rallied around them. Hoa spoke about her catering business, proudly announcing that she had officially opened her first pop-up shop, and Min showcased his latest paintings, which were met with applause and admiration. When it was Trang's turn to speak, she felt a mixture of emotions. "This journey has shown me the incredible strength of the human spirit," she said, her voice steady yet filled with emotion. "Each of you has contributed to the success of Trang's Haven. Together, we have created a space where dreams can flourish and compassion reigns." The crowd erupted in applause, and Trang felt a sense of belonging wash over her. It was a moment that encapsulated the essence of their shared journey, a celebration of love, resilience, and the power of community. As the evening came to a close, Trang looked around at the faces filled with joy and hope. She realized that their work was far from over, but they had laid a strong foundation for future initiatives. The bonds forged within Trang's Haven would continue to ripple outward, inspiring change and kindness beyond their community. In the years to come, Trang remained dedicated to advocating for the homeless and marginalized. She worked tirelessly to build partnerships with local businesses, schools, and organizations, continuously striving to create new opportunities for those in need. The legacy of Trang's Haven grew, as stories of success spread far and wide. The mentorship program became a model adopted by numerous shelters, and Trang was invited to share her experiences at national conferences. Each time she spoke, she emphasized the importance of compassion, community, and believing in the potential of every individual. In her heart, Trang knew that her journey was just beginning. With the support of her community, she remained committed to creating a world where everyone had the chance to thrive, embodying the spirit of love and kindness that had brought them all together. As Trang continued her advocacy work, she began to explore ways to expand Trang's Haven's reach beyond the local community. She recognized that while they had made significant strides in addressing homelessness and providing support, the issue was widespread and required a more comprehensive approach. To facilitate this, Trang decided to host a national conference on homelessness and community support. The aim was to bring together thought leaders, advocates, and individuals who had experienced homelessness to share insights, strategies, and solutions. Trang envisioned the conference as a platform for collaboration, where diverse voices could come together to inspire change. The planning process was intensive, but Trang was fueled by her passion and determination. She secured a venue, reached out to potential speakers, and began promoting the event through social media and community networks. The response was overwhelming. People from across the country expressed interest in attending, eager to be part of the conversation. On the day of the conference, the venue buzzed with energy. Attendees included policymakers, social workers, nonprofit leaders, and individuals with lived experiences. Trang felt a mixture of excitement and nerves as she welcomed everyone to the event, recognizing the importance of the discussions that would take place. The conference featured a variety of workshops and panels, covering topics such as mental health, housing first strategies, and the impact of mentorship. One particularly moving panel featured former residents of Trang's Haven, sharing their journeys and the transformations they had undergone. As the day progressed, attendees engaged in thoughtful discussions and brainstorming sessions, exchanging ideas and potential collaborations. Trang was thrilled to see connections being formed, recognizing that this collective effort could lead to real, lasting change. By the end of the conference, attendees had generated a wealth of ideas and action plans. Trang felt a renewed sense of hope as she watched people leave, energized and ready to take on the challenges ahead. The conference was a resounding success, and she knew it was just the beginning of a broader movement. Inspired by the feedback and connections made during the event, Trang decided to create a national network for shelters and community organizations focused on homelessness. This network would facilitate collaboration, resource sharing, and advocacy efforts, amplifying the voices of those most affected by the issue. With the help of a dedicated team, she began reaching out to organizations nationwide, inviting them to join the network. The response was overwhelmingly positive, and soon, the network grew to include hundreds of shelters and organizations committed to addressing homelessness. As the network developed, Trang focused on creating resource guides, best practices, and training materials that member organizations could use to improve their services. She hosted webinars and workshops, bringing experts in various fields to share their knowledge and support the ongoing education of staff and volunteers. Meanwhile, the mentorship program at Trang's Haven continued to thrive, inspiring similar initiatives across the country. Stories of transformation poured in from residents who had benefited from the program, reinforcing Trang's belief in the power of connection and support. One day, while reflecting on the impact of the national network, Trang received a call from a prominent news outlet. They wanted to feature her work and the network in a documentary highlighting innovative approaches to addressing homelessness. Trang was thrilled at the opportunity to share the stories of individuals and organizations making a difference. As the film crew began documenting the various programs and initiatives, Trang emphasized the importance of community collaboration. The documentary showcased not only the work being done at Trang's Haven but also the efforts of network members across the country, illustrating the collective impact of their endeavors. When the documentary aired, it received widespread acclaim, shedding light on the complexities of homelessness and the solutions being implemented by compassionate individuals and organizations. Viewers were moved by the personal stories of resilience and hope, leading to an outpouring of support and donations for various shelters featured in the film. Buoyed by the success of the documentary, Trang began to think about expanding their services even further. She envisioned the creation of mobile outreach teams that could provide support to individuals experiencing homelessness in underserved areas. These teams would bring essential services directly to those in need, ensuring that no one fell through the cracks. To launch this initiative, Trang secured partnerships with local health clinics, mental health organizations, and volunteers willing to dedicate their time. Together, they developed a comprehensive plan that included regular outreach visits, medical screenings, mental health support, and access to resources such as food and clothing. The first outreach event took place in a neighborhood that had long been overlooked. As the team set up their mobile clinic, they felt a mix of excitement and anticipation. Trang was on site, eager to witness the impact of their efforts firsthand. As community members began to arrive, Trang and her team greeted them warmly, providing essential services and offering a listening ear. The response was overwhelmingly positive. Many individuals expressed gratitude for the support and resources they were receiving. One woman, in particular, caught Trang's attention. Her name was Lin, and she had been living in her car for months. Lin had lost her job and struggled to find stable housing, feeling isolated and hopeless. When she shared her story with Trang, the two connected immediately. Trang listened intently as Lin described her situation, offering words of encouragement and support. After learning about Lin's skills as a seamstress, Trang suggested enrolling her in a vocational training program that would help her secure stable employment. Touched by Trang's compassion, Lin agreed to participate in the program. Over the following weeks, she honed her skills and eventually landed a job at a local boutique, marking a significant turning point in her life. Trang felt immense joy witnessing Lin's transformation, knowing that their outreach efforts were making a tangible difference. As the outreach program continued to expand, Trang received feedback from other team members and community members about the positive impact they were having. More individuals began seeking assistance, and many were able to access the resources they desperately needed. Encouraged by this progress, Trang organized regular community forums to gather input from residents and foster dialogue about the challenges they faced. These forums provided a space for individuals to voice their concerns, share their experiences, and collaborate on potential solutions. One evening, during a forum, a resident named Min shared his thoughts about the importance of mental health support within the outreach program. Inspired by his passion, Trang decided to incorporate mental health screenings and counseling services into the mobile outreach model. With this addition, the outreach team became even more effective, addressing the holistic needs of individuals experiencing homelessness. As word spread about the services offered, the team saw an increase in participation, further solidifying the program's place in the community. Over time, Trang's Haven grew to become a beacon of hope, inspiring other communities to adopt similar models. The national network continued to flourish, fostering collaboration and advocacy efforts that had a far-reaching impact. Reflecting on her journey, Trang felt grateful for the many lives she had touched and the lessons she had learned. Each individual's story had added depth and meaning to her work, reinforcing her belief in the importance of compassion and community support. As she looked to the future, Trang envisioned a world where everyone had access to the resources they needed to thrive. She remained committed to her mission, inspired by the resilience of those she served and the power of collective action. With each initiative, she continued to amplify the voices of individuals experiencing homelessness, advocating for their rights and well-being. And as the stories of triumph and hope grew, Trang knew that the spirit of kindness and compassion would always shine brightly in her community, lighting the way for others to follow. As Trang's Haven flourished, the ripple effects of her work began to reach far beyond the local community. News of the successful outreach program and the national network spread, attracting attention from various organizations and philanthropists interested in supporting her mission. One day, Trang received an unexpected invitation to speak at an international conference on homelessness in a major city. This opportunity filled her with both excitement and trepidation. She knew it would be a platform to share the success of Trang's Haven, advocate for the needs of the homeless, but it also meant stepping into a larger arena where she could represent not just her work, but the voices of many others who had faced similar struggles. Preparing for the conference was a rigorous process. Trang spent countless hours refining her presentation, gathering data on the impacts of their programs, and collecting stories from residents that highlighted their journeys. She wanted to ensure that the audience understood not just the statistics but the humanity behind each number. On the day of the conference, the atmosphere was electric. Attendees from around the globe gathered to discuss innovative solutions to homelessness. When it was Trang's turn to speak, she felt a mixture of nerves and determination. Standing in front of a large audience, she took a deep breath and began to share her story. She spoke passionately about the importance of community involvement, emphasizing how Trang's Haven had grown from a small initiative into a comprehensive support network. As she shared the stories of residents like Lin and Min, the audience was captivated. People were visibly moved by the resilience of those who had turned their lives around with the right support. As she concluded her speech, Trang called for a collective effort to address homelessness, encouraging attendees to consider how they could implement similar programs in their own communities. The applause that followed was thunderous, and she felt a surge of hope that change was not just possible but already underway. In the days that followed, the conference had a profound impact on Trang's Haven. Several international organizations reached out, expressing interest in collaborating and sharing resources. This newfound support allowed Trang to envision even broader initiatives, such as cross-border partnerships aimed at tackling homelessness globally. With this momentum, Trang decided to host a series of workshops to share best practices with other organizations interested in replicating her model. The workshops drew participants from various countries, creating a rich tapestry of ideas and experiences. Trang was thrilled to see attendees engaging in discussions, brainstorming solutions, and sharing their unique challenges. Amid these exciting developments, Trang remained committed to her local community. She knew that while her work was gaining national attention, it was the everyday lives of the residents at Trang's Haven that mattered most. She continued to prioritize their needs, ensuring that programs remained responsive and effective. One particular initiative that emerged from community feedback was the creation of a garden at Trang's Haven. Inspired by the idea of providing residents with a space to cultivate their own food and engage in therapeutic gardening, Trang enlisted volunteers and local gardening experts to help design and implement the project. As the garden took shape, residents eagerly participated, planting seeds and tending to the growing plants. The experience became not just a source of fresh produce but also a therapeutic outlet. Trang observed the joy on their faces as they nurtured the plants, creating a sense of ownership and pride. Over time, the garden blossomed into a vibrant sanctuary, attracting not only residents but also community members who came to lend a hand. It became a place of connection, where people from different backgrounds came together to share stories, learn from one another, and foster friendships. With the success of the garden and other initiatives, Trang felt emboldened to explore even more avenues for supporting residents. She organized community events, such as potlucks and art shows, where residents could showcase their talents and share their stories. These gatherings fostered a sense of belonging and strengthened the bonds within the community. As the years passed, Trang's Haven became a symbol of hope and resilience. It inspired countless individuals to get involved, whether through volunteering, donating, or simply spreading awareness about the challenges faced by those experiencing homelessness. One day, while preparing for an upcoming community event, Trang received a phone call that would change everything. A prominent tech entrepreneur, who had heard about the work being done at Trang's Haven, expressed interest in funding a new initiative focused on providing digital literacy training to residents. This opportunity excited Trang. She recognized that digital skills were essential for accessing job opportunities and resources in the modern world. With the support of the entrepreneur, they launched a program that provided training in computer skills, online job applications, and even basic coding for interested residents. The response to the program was overwhelmingly positive. Residents who had previously felt intimidated by technology began to gain confidence as they learned new skills. Trang watched as they navigated the digital landscape, applying for jobs, creating resumes, and exploring online educational resources. One young man named Hugh stood out in the digital literacy class. He had always been passionate about technology but had never had the chance to explore it fully. With guidance from the instructors and encouragement from Trang, Hugh flourished. He became proficient in coding and eventually landed an internship with a local tech company. Hugh's success story inspired others, reinforcing the belief that with the right support and resources, anyone could overcome their circumstances. The digital literacy program continued to grow, becoming a cornerstone of Trang's Haven's offerings. As the years rolled on, Trang reflected on the journey that had brought her to this point. What had begun as a small act of kindness had transformed into a powerful movement, touching countless lives and creating a legacy of compassion and community support. In recognition of her efforts, Trang was invited to speak at various international forums and received numerous awards for her advocacy work. Yet, despite the accolades, she remained grounded, focusing on the individuals whose lives were being transformed every day at Trang's Haven. On the 10th anniversary of the organization, Trang decided to host a grand celebration to honor everyone who had played a part in its success. The event brought together residents, mentors, community supporters, and volunteers for a night of reflection and gratitude. As the evening unfolded, Trang watched with a sense of fulfillment as residents shared their stories of growth and resilience. Each testimonial highlighted the power of community and the impact of love and support in overcoming adversity. When it was Trang's turn to speak, she felt a wave of emotion wash over her. Tonight, we celebrate not just a decade of service but a decade of hope, connection, and transformation, she said, her voice steady yet filled with passion. Together, we have created a space where everyone can thrive, where dreams can take flight, and where compassion knows no bounds. The room erupted in applause, and Trang felt a deep sense of gratitude for the community that had embraced her vision. It was a moment of collective achievement, a testament to the power of unity and the belief that everyone deserves a chance to succeed. As the celebration continued into the night, Trang knew that their work was far from over. With renewed energy and determination, she looked forward to the future, ready to tackle the challenges ahead and continue making a difference in the lives of those in need. With the support of her community, Trang was confident that they would continue to create a brighter future for all, ensuring that the spirit of kindness and compassion would forever illuminate their path. As the celebration wound down, Trang took a moment to step outside and breathe in the cool night air. The stars twinkled brightly above, a reminder of the countless dreams that had taken root in the hearts of those she served. She felt a wave of gratitude wash over her, not just for the achievements of the past decade, but for the community that had become her family. The next morning, as she reflected on the event, Trang knew that it was time to think about the future of Trang's Haven. Inspired by the stories shared at the celebration, she envisioned expanding their services even further, perhaps creating specialized programs for families experiencing homelessness or offering more comprehensive mental health services. To gauge community interest, Trang organized a series of focus groups. She invited residents, former participants, and community members to share their thoughts and suggestions. The response was overwhelmingly positive, with many eager to contribute their ideas. During one of these sessions, a single mother named Hoa shared her struggles. She explained how difficult it was to find affordable childcare while seeking employment. This sparked a conversation about the need for childcare services within the community. Trang realized that providing support for families would help break the cycle of poverty and homelessness. Motivated by this feedback, Trang reached out to local organizations specializing in childcare. After several meetings, they partnered to develop a program that would offer affordable childcare services for residents attending job training or looking for work. The initiative was warmly received, and soon, families were able to access reliable childcare, allowing parents to pursue their career goals. With each new program, Trang's Haven grew stronger and more integrated into the fabric of the community. The garden flourished, and the digital literacy program expanded, now offering advanced classes and job placement services. Each initiative served as a reminder that they were not just addressing immediate needs but also empowering individuals to build sustainable futures. One day, while reviewing progress reports with her team, Trang received a message that would further change the course of Trang's Haven. a philanthropist who had been following their work reached out, expressing interest in funding a new initiative focused on mental health support. Excited by the possibility, Trang arranged a meeting with the philanthropist, a kind-hearted woman named Elena. During their conversation, Elena shared her own experiences with mental health challenges and expressed her desire to create a safe space for individuals to seek help. Together, they designed a comprehensive mental health program that included counseling, group therapy, and workshops on coping strategies. They recruited licensed therapists and trained volunteers to provide support, ensuring that every individual who walked through their doors felt seen and heard. The mental health program quickly became a cornerstone of Trang's haven. Residents who had previously felt isolated began to engage in therapy and support groups, sharing their stories and learning from one another. The sense of community deepened as people bonded over shared experiences and supported each other's healing journeys. As the program flourished, Trang's Haven became a model for holistic support, garnering attention from other organizations eager to replicate their success. Trang was invited to speak at more conferences, sharing insights about the integration of mental health services into homelessness support. In the midst of all these changes, Trang remained grounded in her mission. She never lost sight of the individuals she served, constantly seeking their input and feedback to refine programs and ensure their relevance. Each success story reinforced her belief that compassion and support could transform lives. One day, as she was reviewing applications for a new mentorship program aimed at young adults, Trang noticed an application from a familiar name, Hugh. Now a few years into his career at the tech company, Hugh expressed a desire to give back to the community that had supported him. He wanted to mentor young individuals at Trang's Haven, sharing his skills and experiences. Overjoyed, Trang met with Hugh to discuss his vision. Together, they crafted a mentorship program that connected young adults with industry professionals, providing guidance, networking opportunities, and skill development. The program launched with great enthusiasm, and soon, young residents were thriving under the mentorship of individuals like Hugh. As the mentorship program gained traction, Trang organized regular networking events, bringing together mentors and ments in a supportive environment. These gatherings not only provided valuable connections but also fostered a sense of belonging and community among participants. Through these initiatives, Trang's Haven continued to evolve, adapting to the needs of the community while remaining steadfast in its mission. Trang knew that change was a constant, and she welcomed it with open arms, always striving to create a safe and nurturing space for all. As the seasons changed and the years rolled on, Trang found herself reflecting on the journey once again. The impact of Trang's Haven had grown exponentially, touching countless lives and igniting a movement of compassion and support. The garden, the mentorship program, the mental health services, all of these pieces formed a beautiful tapestry of hope. One chilly winter evening, as Trang prepared for another community event, she received a surprise visit from a familiar face. It was Lynn, the young woman whose life had changed so dramatically after Trang helped her find employment. Now working as a successful manager at the boutique, Lynn had come to share her gratitude. "I wanted to thank you for everything you've done, Trang," Lynn said, her eyes sparkling with emotion. "You believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. Because of you, I'm living my dream, and I want to give back too." Tears of joy welled in Trang's eyes as Lynn shared her vision for a new initiative focused on empowering women in the community. Inspired by her own journey, Lynn wanted to create workshops that taught women job skills, self-defense, and financial literacy. With Trang's encouragement, Lynn launched the program, attracting women from various backgrounds. The workshops quickly became a safe haven for empowerment and growth, fostering connections among participants and building a strong support network. As Lynn's initiative took off, it became clear that Trang's Haven was not just a place of assistance but a catalyst for transformation. The stories of success continued to unfold, each one adding to the legacy of kindness and compassion that had blossomed in their community. With each new program, each new partnership, and each life changed, Trang felt a deep sense of fulfillment. She understood that her journey was just beginning. As she looked ahead, she saw endless possibilities for expanding their impact and continuing to uplift those in need. Together, with her community by her side, Trang remained committed to building a world where everyone had the chance to thrive, where kindness and compassion were woven into the very fabric of their society. And in the heart of it all, Trang's Haven stood strong, a testament to the power of love and community in overcoming adversity. As Trang's Haven continued to thrive, the community spirit grew even stronger. The collective efforts of everyone involved created a vibrant ecosystem of support, where individuals felt empowered to contribute and uplift one another. With each passing month, new initiatives emerged, each tailored to address the evolving needs of the residents. One afternoon, as Trang walked through the community garden, she overheard a group of young women discussing their dreams of starting their own businesses. Inspired, she approached them and initiated a conversation. They shared their aspirations, ranging from opening a bakery to launching an online shop for handmade crafts. Realizing the potential in these ideas, Trang proposed the concept of a business incubator within Trang's Haven. She envisioned a program that would provide resources, mentorship, and funding for budding entrepreneurs from the community. The excitement in the air was palpable as they brainstormed ways to make this vision a reality. With her usual determination, Trang set out to find local business leaders willing to mentor and invest in these entrepreneurs. She reached out to her network and soon secured commitments from several successful business owners who were eager to share their expertise. The incubator program officially launched with a kickoff event where participants presented their business ideas to a panel of mentors. It was an inspiring evening filled with creativity and passion, showcasing the diverse talents within the community. The mentors provided constructive feedback, encouragement, and valuable insights on how to turn their dreams into viable businesses. As the months progressed, participants in the incubator program worked tirelessly on their business plans. They attended workshops on marketing, financial management, and customer service, gaining the skills they needed to succeed. Each step they took was a testament to their resilience and determination. Among the participants was a young woman named Mai, who dreamed of opening a small bakery. With her passion for baking and the support of the incubator, she began crafting her business plan. She found a mentor who had previously run a successful bakery and learned the ins and outs of the food industry. Under the mentor's guidance, Mai developed her recipes and even tested her baked goods at community events, receiving rave reviews. As the incubator program flourished, Trang organized regular pitch nights where participants could showcase their progress and receive feedback from the community. The events not only boosted confidence but also fostered a sense of camaraderie among the entrepreneurs. They celebrated each other's successes, forming bonds that would last long after the program concluded. One evening, as the pitch night approached, Trang felt a mix of excitement and nervousness. The atmosphere in the community center was electric, with friends, family, and supporters eagerly awaiting the presentations. Mai was among the last to present, and as she stepped onto the stage, her heart raced with anticipation. "Good evening, everyone," she began, her voice steady. "My name is Mai, and I'm excited to share my dream with you." As she spoke about her vision for the bakery, her passion shone through, and the audience was captivated. She showcased her signature pastries and described how she planned to source ingredients locally, creating a sustainable business that would give back to the community. When Mai finished her presentation, the applause was thunderous. The support from the audience fueled her confidence, and she felt a surge of hope for the future. After all the pitches concluded, Trang announced that the panel of mentors would select a few participants to receive seed funding to launch their businesses. As the judges deliberated, Trang watched the excitement and anxiety ripple through the room. When the winners were finally announced, Mai's name echoed through the hall. Overwhelmed with joy, she could hardly believe it. Tears of gratitude filled her eyes as she accepted the funding and the mentorship that would help her take her dream to the next level. With the support of Trang's Haven, Mai opened her bakery, which she named Mai's Delights. The grand opening was a community event, drawing in friends, family, and supporters from all around. Trang stood proudly by Mai's side, witnessing the realization of a dream born out of hard work, resilience, and unwavering support. As the bakery flourished, it became more than just a place for delicious treats, it became a gathering spot for the community. Mai hosted baking classes, inviting others to learn the art of pastry making and instilling a sense of camaraderie among participants. The joy in the air was palpable as laughter and the sweet aroma of baked goods filled the space. Inspired by Mai's success, other entrepreneurs from the incubator began to launch their businesses as well. The community center transformed into a hub of creativity, innovation, and collaboration. Each new venture added to the vibrant tapestry of Trang's Haven, showcasing the talent and determination that existed within the community. As Trang reflected on this journey, she felt a profound sense of fulfillment. The seeds of kindness and compassion she had planted years ago were now blossoming into a flourishing garden of opportunities. She knew that each person's success was a testament to the power of community and support. One day, as she sat in the garden surrounded by laughter and the fragrance of flowers, Trang received a message from Elena, the philanthropist who had supported the mental health program. Elena wanted to visit Trang's Haven to see the impact of her contributions firsthand. When Elena arrived, she was greeted with warm smiles and stories from the residents. They shared how the mental health program had changed their lives, providing them with tools to cope and heal. As they walked through the garden, Elena was moved by the sense of community and resilience that permeated the air. "I'm in awe of what you've built here, Trang," Elena said, her eyes glistening with emotion. "It's truly remarkable to see how your vision has transformed lives." As they talked, Trang and Elena brainstormed ideas for future collaborations, aiming to expand their reach and support even more individuals in need. With their combined resources and passion, they envisioned creating additional mental health outreach programs that could serve other communities struggling with similar challenges. The partnership blossomed, and soon, Trang's Haven became a model for comprehensive support systems, inspiring other organizations across the country to adopt similar approaches. Trang traveled to various conferences and workshops, sharing her experiences and the successes of her initiatives, emphasizing the importance of addressing mental health alongside homelessness. Years passed, and Trang's Haven grew into a well-established institution known for its innovative programs and community-centered approach. The garden flourished, the bakery thrived, and the mentorship programs empowered countless individuals to pursue their dreams. On the 5th anniversary of Mai's Delights, Trang was invited to speak at a local event celebrating female entrepreneurs. As she stood on stage, she reflected on the incredible journey that had brought her to this moment. She shared her story, emphasizing the importance of believing in oneself and the transformative power of community. "I've learned that kindness is a seed," Trang told the audience. "When nurtured, it grows into something beautiful, impacting lives in ways we can't even imagine. Each one of us has the power to create change, to uplift those around us, and to build a brighter future together." The audience erupted in applause, and Trang felt a surge of gratitude for the journey she had undertaken. She knew that the work was far from over, there were still many challenges to address, and countless lives to touch. But with her community by her side, she was ready to continue the fight for compassion and support. As she left the stage, a sense of hope filled her heart. She understood that the power of love and community could overcome any obstacle, creating a legacy of kindness that would endure for generations to come. And so, with each new day, Trang and her community continued to plant the seeds of hope, nurturing them into a future where everyone had the opportunity to thrive. As Trang looked out over the bustling community during the anniversary celebration, she felt a profound sense of fulfillment. The garden was vibrant with flowers, laughter echoed from the bakery, and conversations flowed freely among friends and families who had come together to support one another. She realized that the seeds of kindness she had sown had grown into something beautiful, a thriving community built on love, resilience, and shared dreams. With a heart full of gratitude, Trang stepped onto the makeshift stage to address the crowd. "Today, we celebrate not just our achievements but the spirit of togetherness that has brought us here. Each of you has played a vital role in this journey, and your stories inspire us all to continue reaching for our dreams." The crowd erupted in applause, their cheers resonating like a warm embrace. Trang shared anecdotes of hope and transformation, highlighting the many individuals whose lives had changed through their collective efforts. As she spoke, she felt an unbreakable bond among everyone present, a reminder that they were not just a community, they were a family. As the sun began to set, casting a golden hue over the gathering, Trang concluded her speech with a powerful message. "Let us continue to lift each other up, to dream bigger, and to spread kindness wherever we go. Together, we can create a world where everyone has the chance to thrive. With that, the crowd joined together in a heartfelt celebration, their spirits lifted by the promise of tomorrow. Trang knew that while challenges would undoubtedly arise, the foundation they had built was strong enough to weather any storm. As the festivities continued into the evening, Trang felt a deep sense of peace. Surrounded by the laughter of friends, the aroma of fresh pastries, and the vibrant energy of hope, she understood that this was just the beginning. With each passing day, they would write new stories of compassion, resilience, and love, stories that would echo through generations. In that moment, Trang made a silent vow to continue nurturing the garden they had created together, ensuring that it would flourish for years to come. And as the stars began to twinkle overhead, she knew that the spirit of Trang's haven would shine brightly, guiding them all toward a future filled with promise and possibility.